Hey, Mama. Today we're going there. We're talking about the side of motherhood most of us experience, but a few of us admit out loud mom rage. You know those moments when something small sets you off and suddenly you're yelling, crying, or slamming a cabinet harder than you meant to? Yeah, me too. And then the guilt creeps in, because we love our kids, we love our husband, we love our family, we're grateful for them, but we're also overwhelmed, we're overstimulated, and holding more than any one person should. This episode isn't about judging those moments, it's about understanding them. Because underneath that rage, there's usually exhaustion, resentment, loneliness, or a desperate need for just 1 minute to breathe. So let's unpack what mom rage really is, why it happens, and how we can start to break the shame spiral and respond with compassion, both for ourselves and our little ones, our husbands, our families who witness it, and you're not a bad mom, you're a human one. And this space is here to remind you of that. So let's start right here. What even is mom rage? It's not just being cranky or losing your patience. It's that intense, like out of nowhere anger that bubbles up when your kid asks you for the 47th snack, or your husband asks, like, what's for dinner tonight? Or, you know, you just need something when you have absolutely nothing left to give. And let me clarify something. I know what rage is, postpartum rage is, because I had it with my first baby. I didn't have it with my second baby. And I think it's because I went to therapy and I had all the tools. And I think it also helps that, like, I have a bigger space and I have all the help that I have. But after my first baby, I was not just a first time mom who didn't know what the hell she was doing. Um, Even though I had help as well, we also lived in an apartment with 2 dogs, and I just feel like it was a lot adding a baby to the picture. And for me, I think it was not having the tools that I have today. And that's why I think it's important. And I always say this for anybody, not just moms, but to go to therapy, speak to somebody that can help you and can guide you. And if you can't go to a therapist, maybe a mom friend that you trust, or someone in your family, or a bestie that you can truly, truly trust, that won't judge you. Because again, like, I, you don't know what you go through, you don't know what someone else goes through until you go through it. So, like, for me, even when I had mom friends and I wasn't a mom yet and they would vent to me, I didn't understand because I never went through postpartum. But boy, oh boy, do I understand now. Um, and I also want to say, like, it's not you being dramatic, and it's more so about, like, being overstimulated, overtouched, undersupported. We're talking about, like, emotional and sensory overload. And when that's paired with zero alone time, sleep deprivation, and mental load, that pressure cooker is going to blow. But here's what I want you to hear loud and clear is that you're not crazy, you're not ungrateful, and you are not failing. Your nervous system is sounding the alarm. And I think moms sometimes don't realize that they might have it. And that's why it's important to do self check ins and ask yourself, like, why am I feeling this way? Why is this happening? And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong. It just means that you need to tell yourself, like, maybe I just need a break. Maybe I just need to go out of the house for an hour and just walk around the mall, whatever it is. But if you don't do that for yourself, it's going to lead to rage. Okay, so where does it come from? Mom rage usually doesn't start in the moment it explodes, it builds. So it might start with not feeling seen or appreciated, or feeling like you have to do everything. Even constant noise, clutter, messes, like no time for yourself, emotional labor, remembering everything, managing everything, keeping everything together. And then boom, the Cheerios hits the floor, or your toddler says no for the 100th time, and that rage explodes. But it's not about the Cheerios, it's about the load you've been silently carrying all day or all month. So I with me, everybody is different, but with me, my rage was never towards my kids. Well, my second child, I don't have rage at all, which is nice. Don't forget I'm also on Zoloft. But with my first child, it was mostly on my husband. And I think it's because he didn't do things the way I wanted them done. And this my poor husband, like, he took it, and I admit, like, I told him, "I am so sorry for my whole postpartum, uh, phase, after having Owen because I didn't see that that's what I had." And we had a whole talk about it, and he was literally, like, my punching bag, and, you know, he didn't know what was going on with me, and, like, now we both know it was basically postpartum, and maybe now I would have had postpartum rage, though I started the Zoloft after I gave birth, like, I waited 6 weeks to start taking it just because, your hormones and 6 weeks is, like, the thing that doctors say, like, to wait to take any medication. But some parents do have rage towards the kids. And it doesn't have to be just when they're babies, like, it could be when they're toddlers, like, it happens to the best of us. So I don't want any mom to feel guilty or upset with herself, like, you're human, and it's just important to catch yourself and remind yourself that you are trying the best that you can. But if I can really recommend is speak to somebody and make time for yourself. I don't care if it's literally a 20-minute walk outside with you listening to a podcast or your favorite song, but, like, it's important, and because I look back at my first experience after becoming a mom with my first baby, I'm able to do self check-ins with myself and realize, like, what am I doing now? Why am I feeling upset? So I don't have the rage, I'll just do the check-in and I'll fix it. And I'm sure the Zoloft helps as well. So that's something I'm so happy that I decided to take, and I spoke about it on the prior episode that I released last week. So if you haven't heard that, please go and listen to it because it has truly saved my life. So what helps? This is the tools that I've used. So I want to share it with you guys because again, I'm just trying to help moms out there. So I'm going to share a few things that helped me when I felt at least that rage creeping up or after it's already hit. So this is something I'm so big on, naming it out loud. Sometimes I'll say, like, even if it's to my husband, like, "I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now, and I need a second." And my husband will say, "No problem, my love. Grab the kids, whatever." Because I'm not perfect. I'll still have moments where I'm like, "I need a second. I need a second," But verbalize it. Like, you are not a bad mom for asking for that. And that tiny pause, just naming it out loud, can stop anyone from reacting in a way that they'll regret. Another thing is getting quiet or getting loud safely. So sometimes I've had moms that have told me that they'll go into the bathroom, they'll close the door, and they'll just breathe. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you have to put your kid in front of the TV and run to the closet, run to the bathroom, wherever you need to go, and just take deep breaths, you do that. Other times, I've even heard some moms tell me that they'll scream into a pillow and let it out, and they feel so much better afterwards. But your body needs somewhere to put that energy. And I learned this through therapy and mom support groups. And that's why I started also the mom group, the Mom Dates and Play Dates. And I have moms from everywhere, mostly in Palm Beach County, and from all over, from school, from my community, from this support groups, everything. And it's amazing some of the tools that I've learned from my therapist that I've shared and also what moms tell me. So I'm just sharing everything. Another thing is releasing the shame. So after a rage moment, instead of spiraling into guilt, you can ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do I need a hug? Do I need a break? Do I need a reset? Because shame keeps us stuck. Compassion is what helps us move forward. And I say this so much talking to someone that you trust. So for me, it would be my therapist and my husband. And as I mentioned many times before, my amazing sister in law. And I think even if it's just a text and you can text something like, I yelled and I feel like crap, you know? And getting back a text message like, me too, from another mom, for example, it helps a lot. And that reminder of like, I'm not the only one because I promise you there are so many moms that go through this, they just don't talk about it. Because some moms don't know if other moms go through this. And again, like I don't have it the second time around, but the first time around I did. Um and again, you're n- I please, 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 I want you to remind yourself that you are not a bad mom. You are a tired mom. This isn't about fixing your anger, okay? It's about understanding it. Mom rage, it's really just a signal. It's not a flaw. And it's just so, so common. What would it look like to stop beating ourselves up for symptoms and start supporting ourselves through the root causes? What would it feel like to say, I deserve rest. I deserve help. I deserve grace when I mess up, and I'm allowed to be human. Because I feel like many moms, like they have this expectations of themselves that they need to be perfect. Everything is on them and they need to make it happen. They need to make it work. But you forget that you're human. Yes, you are a mom. That is one of your titles, but you are most importantly a human being with emotions and feelings. And it's important to remind yourself that you're allowed to do things for yourself so you can be a better mom and not feel so overwhelmed and overstimulated and overtouched and under, you know, just all of it. And for me, these tools are some of the things that would have helped me when I had the postpartum rage. And sometimes I still feel like, there'll be days where I'm like, oh my God, I'm feeling angry and I don't know why. So I'll be like, why am I feeling angry? And I'm like, oh, maybe because today, Owen is extra cranky, or maybe because today my mom, you know, couldn't come and Ben, my husband, is on a meeting today, whatever the case is. I mean, of course, during the week I have my nanny, which is amazing, and Owen is in school. So that's been great, and it gives me time to do the things that I enjoy and the things that I love, because I love being a stay at home mom. Because for me, I mean, I have the help, but also I get to do the things that I enjoy and I love. Um, so that fills my cup. So for me, this, and I'm getting off topic here, what I'm doing, my mom group, the mom dates and the play dates, my podcast, being a room mom for my son. Like, I love to keep busy. I just love helping the community and I love bringing people together. I'm not looking to gain anything or like, honestly, like for me, I just, even like moms that meet through my group and I see them hanging out separately, it literally warms my heart. I love that. I've always been like that. And I had like, it's been so amazing because I manifested that, like, please God, like bring good, happy moms, who are not happy, because like not everyone's going to be happy all the time, but like just good-hearted moms. And it's just been such a beautiful community that I have built, not just for myself but for other moms, and it's been really beautiful. And I'm going to say it, I'm really proud of myself. And just the feedback that I've received from so many moms, like, thank you, Nicole, for doing this. Like, I love this group. Like, Nicole, I was so lonely. Or, Nicole, I just moved here. Thank you for this group. Like, I've met so many amazing moms. Like, that's what I love. I love to hear that. I love that moms are getting the support that they need, because yes, we have husbands. Yes, we have partners. Yes, we have friends who maybe don't have kids, but like having a mom bestie that supports you and you don't feel judged and you can be yourself around, there is no price on that. So for me, that's everything. So ultimately, what I'm saying is, instead of seeing it as a failure, try to see it as feedback, a signal that maybe you need rest or help or even just 5 quiet minutes with your coffee. And here's the beautiful thing: repair is possible. If you've snapped, yelled, or lost your cool, you can circle back. You can say, I'm sorry, I was overwhelmed, and model also for your kids what accountability and love looks like. I used to think like I shouldn't cry in front of my son, I shouldn't have disagreements in front of my son, but then he's going to expect the world to be perfect, and that's not the case. And this is my opinion, by the way. I think it's healthy for kids to see how you handle stress and how you handle disagreements, because that's how they learn through you, through modeling. So I think it's something good, actually. Um, because I feel like many people in this world don't know how to own accountability. And again, that's not weakness, mama. Like, that's strength. Our kids don't need a perfect mom. They need real ones who can show them how to navigate big emotions and come back together after hard moments. And finally, I also want you to know that you're not alone in this. And I say this all the time, and I will never stop saying it because you are not alone. Whether it's reaching out to me on Instagram, through this podcast, I'm always here. My door is always open, and I'm here to help any mom out there. So, every mom that you know, even the ones that who seem calm and collected on the outside, has had her breaking points. We just don't always talk about it. So, let this be your reminder that you are part of a bigger sisterhood of mothers who are stumbling, learning, and trying again every single day. You're allowed to take up space and you're allowed to ask for help, and you're absolutely allowed to care for yourself with the same tenderness you give to everyone else. And before we wrap it up, I want to leave you with a simple reflection that you can carry into your week. Take a moment to ask yourself, when I feel rage rising, what is it usually trying to tell me? What is one small way that I can support myself before I hit that breaking point? Maybe it's asking for help with bedtime. I don't know. Maybe it's stepping outside for 2 minutes of fresh air or 45 minutes. Maybe it's simply giving yourself permission to put the laundry down and reset. Write it down if you can. Stick it on a note where you'll see it. I'm a very visual person. I also am a visual learner. So for me, I had sticky notes throughout the house. And believe it or not, it helped a lot. And my husband would even point out, like, baby, you can do this today. Like, honestly, as my husband learned more and more with me, he was an amazing supporter through this all. And I'm just really grateful for the support system that I did have. It really helped me. And now I'm able to help other moms. And for me, that's the biggest gift. Um, but yeah, so write it down. Let it be a reminder that your needs are valid and taking care of them isn't selfish. Really, it's survival. It's motherhood done with basically compassion for yourself. Um, so here's your permission slip to take a breath, to step outside, to put on a show and drink your coffee hot, to not answer one more question right now. And if this episode resonated, please share it with a fellow mama because we're not meant to carry this stuff alone. Anyways, until next time, be gentle with yourself and remember you are not broken. You're just doing your best, and that is more than enough. See you next week, mama.